breaking news here on CBS Sports HQ as the Cleveland Browns are up 11-7 on the Steelers, and Nick Chubb out of the game, carted off with a knee injury. And that's all we know at this point. Jerome Ford is the man who is now tasked with stepping up to the plate. He did get a receiving TD after Chubb went out. But, of course, the main concern is with Nick Chubb. And for more on this developing story, let's bring in CBS Sports NFL analyst, writer, my main man, Ryan Wilson. And Ryan, you saw the play, you saw the replay. What are your initial thoughts just on how catastrophic this might be for the Cleveland Browns? Right.
We don't know the severity of it in medical terms, but just the eyeball test is one that certainly makes you feel uncomfortable. The telecast refused to show the replay. I happen to be upstairs in the newsroom, and we have the truck version, so we saw the replay, and it was a collective groan went out when you saw Minkah Fitzpatrick hit Nick Chubb on his left side, right around his knee area. And I understand that it is incredibly tough to bring Nick Chubb down. You're not going to bring him down, tackle him high, so you have to go low. And that's just the life of being a running back. But Minkah missed the target. Nick Chubb was on the receiving end of that blow, and he went down in clear and obvious pain. His teammates tried to help him up. He couldn't get up, and they had to bring the cart out. And I will say this about Nick Chubb, who you talk to folks around the league, he is one of the best dudes in the NFL. All of his teammates came off the bench to the cart, which was near the goal line, to see him off. Steelers players did the same thing, and Steelers fans, this game is at Acrisure Stadium in Pittsburgh, were cheering for Nick Chubb. They understand the importance of it. And it's sort of weird, Chris, that we're in week 2 of a divisional matchup, and the game feels unimportant at this point. Yeah. Now, it doesn't mean that the Brown season is over, but they've lost their best player for the time being. We'll find out for how long. But it was a tough moment to watch in a sport that is obviously a very, very physical affair. Yeah, violence happens on every single play. You just hope that you don't see somebody get injured because of that violence. So, yeah, we're very concerned about Nick Chubb, but we do have to move forward, you know, depending on how long he's going to be out. When you look at Jerome Ford, what are you going to expect, or who should they rely on? Because you can't replace Nick Chubb's production, right? He's a guy who you can count on to rush for over 1,000 yards basically every season. But where do they go from here? Because that was their workhorse, as I kept on saying, and he's the guy that makes this offense go, as we do not know what Deshaun Watson is going to be for the rest of the season. And Deshaun Watson has looked understandably uneven in this game because that's how he's been after taking a year plus off. Well, here's what we're going to find out, by the way, Chris. There's been this whole conversation this offseason about are running backs worth their salary. We're going to find out right quick if Nick Chubb is worth the money they're paying him, and I'm glad that he got paid before he suffered this injury. So you have Jerome Ford, who scored a touchdown moments after Nick Chubb had to leave the field. He's a different type of running back. He's more of a change of pace back. He can get on the perimeter and win there. He can help you in the pass game as well. They have Pierre Strong, who was formerly the Steelers, a backup option there. Leonard Fournette's still out there. Kareem Hunt's still out there, who played for the Browns previously. So those could be potential options. But to your point, you are not going to replace the production, the leadership that Nick Chubb brought to this team. And we can talk all we want about how running backs are fungible and you can find them anywhere. You ain't finding Nick Chubb anywhere. And this is a huge blow for this Browns team, both, as I said, in terms of leadership, but also in terms of on-field productivity and not what's a must-win game. They won last week in Cincinnati, of course, but in terms of what this looks like, what this projects over the course of the season, being without your best offensive player. Yeah, and I think you made a great point. We are really going to see how valuable Nick Chubb is, and I feel like he's already extremely valuable, but it's just showing you that you need running backs in this league to win. You might have a great passing game, but the game, in my opinion, I don't know about you, is won in the trenches every single day. Am I right? It's a young quarterback's best friend. It's a quarterback who hasn't played in 2 years, best friend. We see it around the league. Go ask Brock Purdy if he likes having Christian McCaffrey in the backfield. Kyle Shanahan gave up all that he gave up to get Christian McCaffrey. Is he the best running back in the NFL? Yes, he's paid as such. But you can go around the league to teams that have young quarterbacks, that have veteran quarterbacks that need help, who aren't mobile, and it always comes back to the running back position. Now, are you going to pay them $17, $18 million a year? Not yet, but maybe the situation we see here with Nick Chubb will open the door, in a sense, for other running backs who are looking to get paid. Saquon suffered the ankle injury over the weekend. They're taking more risk than other positions in terms of the amount of hits they take over the course of a 60-minute football game, and they're getting paid less. And it's an issue, but not one that's going to be easily resolved, because like I said, you can find productivity with running backs, but you're only going to get 65% of what you're getting from Nick Chubb and paying 10% for that. So you have to do that math, see what's best for you. But I think this is a huge loss for the Browns. And like I said, I am glad that Nick Chubb got his contract before tonight's action.